We have a really interesting and inspiring story to share with you now. He was told he would never walk again, but now, guess what? This is him running across Canada. 6 years ago, when he was just 32 years old, now I know how old you are, David McGuire suffered a brain injury. It damaged his short-term memory, and that literally turned his life upside down. But determined to live life to the max, he's now running across the country in hope of raising awareness about brain injuries. And I'm very honored that he's joined me now in Toronto. His latest stop on this journey is here in our city, and he joins us now in studio. Hey, thanks for making time from your run, although it's air conditioned in here, so a nice little break.
It's a little break, yeah, for
I was asking you if you ran on that during that heat day on Thursday. That's how I describe it, and you said you did with a freezer bag on your head.
I did, yeah.
Tell us about this run and what inspired you. We know you have a brain injury, but you can't tell from looking at you. You can't tell from you and I speaking together. So maybe for our viewers at home, describe what kind of brain injury you have.
I have, mine was in the left side of my brain. I don't know if the camera can get it, but I had a portion of my skull removed and put in liquid nitrogen for 29 days. I thought it was really cool that I could touch my brain. Apparently nobody else thought that was cool. That was pretty much the response I got. And I was, thrown into this world of brain injury, and I didn't realize how many people there were that had a brain injury and how limited the resources were. And I went through a pretty deep depression. I'm not the person that I was before, and I had to, go back to this old world that I didn't fit in anymore. And it was a challenge, and I felt sorry for myself until I met the people that had a much bigger damage than I did, or were much more disabled than I was, and I could no longer feel that for myself. I needed to get the word out there, because they were the remarkable ones, right?
It's pretty amazing, though, because it would be easy for you to just feel sorry for yourself and not get involved, but...
Very easy, yeah.
How did you lose your memory in the first place? How did you suffer your brain damage?
Fantastic question. I had what we now know, and I didn't know it at the time, my brain had been bleeding inside my skull for some reason, and that caused pressure to be put onto my brain, which caused my brain to swell inside my skull, and there's no room for it to go. So for a period of time I was acting a little bit weird and freaking out and doing some odd things until I had one final major stroke that caused a rupture in my head. So
and that's why they removed part of
your skull. They did. When they removed it, they had to suck up a whole bunch of dried blood, calcified blood, that they realized it had been going on for quite a while. So
So on a day-to-day basis, how does your brain injury affect your life? Because it's your short-term memory.
Short-term memory, yeah. The way we have long-term memory, so speaking English, you don't walk in front of traffic, this is how you walk, those things are established behaviors. Short-term memory is something that happens today, or a new behavior that you hold in. So if you're learning a new task, if you have a new breaking story that comes in, short-term memory. Tomorrow when I wake up, I won't remember being here. Right? So unless I can correlate it to something that happened previously, it just disappears. So
you won't remember this conversation likely tomorrow.
But you know what? No such thing as repeats on TV. Right? So
we'll air it again for you, and then that way you'll say, what?
Yeah, and all my friends say they lent me $20 yesterday, right? So
of course they do. Now you're married.
I am.
You have a family.
Yes.
I can't imagine. I'm also married. I can't imagine every day having to go through telling my spouse, okay, here's what we did yesterday, here's what you need to know, don't forget this. So the frustration factor must be quite phenomenal.
Well, she's remarkable. I mean, you know what I mean? I don't have that much patience, you know what I mean? And for what gets me is what I do remember too are the extremes. So I remember the argument, but I don't remember the conclusion.
Oh, of course.
So if you remember, you get heated, whatever it is, well, I don't remember that we've resolved it. So the next day, I'm still angry, and my body thinks it's angry. So we're having the same fight, and for her, she obviously gets frustrated sometimes, and then I, brain damage. She's,
Before I let you get on the road and do what you're doing, just quickly reiterate why you want to do this, why the attention to brain injury. It must infuriate you when you see young children riding their bikes without helmets.
That's exactly it. I mean, it sucks. It really did change my life, and it doesn't need to. And it's so simple as putting on a helmet will reduce such a huge percentage of brain injuries out there. 90% of them are preventable, and it's as simple as putting on a helmet. It's like seat belts. It's just makes sense. It's a no-brainer, literally.
So wear your seat belt.
Put your helmet on.
Put your helmet on.
Get your parents put it on. That topic age group is males, 18 to 25. I think they're invincible, and they need to be throwing it on.
Well, you may not remember this conversation, but I will, and I think you're a fantastic inspiration. Thank you for coming in and sharing your story with us.
Well, thanks so much for the time. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. That's David McGuire. He's running across Canada to raise awareness about brain injuries.